Well, hello.
Yeah, hello,
Everybody. Hello.
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 And welcome to As the Rotor Turns.
We were all shocked.
I know, it's like we were surprised. Oh,
hey.
hello. Hi, out there. He was here today.
He was.
He did a great
I didn't
job
get to see
teaching.
him.
I know. He was his beard looked absolutely
Yes, it did.
horrible. And not a fan of the beard.
No?
No, I'm just not a beard guy. But your mustache, delicious. Those
You know what? I can't wait to dye it because it's showing my age. How old I
it
am.
looks
Not really.
it looked
No?
you look distinct.
It doesn't.
Like Anderson Cooper, man. Like he looks,
That's
man
true.
looks
That's
legit
true.
all the time.
Yeah, he does.
You know?
You know what's weird with the beard?
Who's that?
Drew Carey.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, full on rapey beard. That's what he's got, with the glasses in there. It's like so weird. So hey, by the way, hello everybody.
Hello.
This is start with a little disclaimer. This is the opinion of Carlos and the hippo Jason, who's
Cheers.
pounding America's beer right there. And Patricio, what's up, man? He's got some stories.
I do have some stories.
And
I
baby,
can't wait to hear him.
hello, I love you.
I love you.
You look beautiful.
Well, thank you.
And we are not recording from Johnny's filling station today because
We're hiding.
we're in an undisclosed spot. We're on the Lamb.
That's right.
My on the
Right now.
Lamb name is Casey Ryback.
I forgot what we decided mine was.
I don't know. You changed it a
Can I
lot.
be Art Vandelay?
Whatever you want to use. Yeah.
I'm gonna be Art Vandelay from now on.
For years, my on the Lamb name was Vince Palmetto. That's a good story how that came about. And then, but hey, listen, you know whose not opinion is this? Not of the wonderful and very handsome Dr. Benjamin Abbo. The rescue company one, or anybody that hires a rescue company one, they may not share our opinion. And,
Probably not.
No. Yeah, most of them don't.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Most people don't.
No.
And as of some people that are in the process of hiring us, yes, we're not degenerates. So I think
Look what you did. Look at you.
what did he do?
Hi.
Whoa.
What did I do?
Look at me, I figured it out.
Yay!
Hey. Hello, birthday buddy.
Hi, birthday buddy.
So I yesterday we're watching the podcast with we'll keep him nameless. I think his name rhymes with iron. And he goes, man, there's a lot of boobs on your show. I go, yeah, Trish had a boobalicious shirt on last podcast, and he goes, no, the other girl does too. So I took Amanda and I go, you have awesome podcast boobs. Keep them up.
Why are you wearing a turtleneck though?
Yeah,
It's
V-necks
fun.
are the
Jeez.
V-necks are the only thing allowed from now on. So
You're sanctioned for
Yeah.
this podcast.
we're gonna make you wear the new Rescue Company one, time travel hat. Time travel.
I did order you some TRC stuff today.
Oh yeah,
Yay.
awesome. So today's episode is gonna be about anybody? Because I gave you guys an
An hour
assignment.
and a half.
Gave you an assignment. Things we think about and don't say. Things
Okay.
you think about
Things that we think about
and you don't say. What movie is that from?
Well, it is-
Jerry Maguire.
Man, that's my birthday buddy.
Bam.
That's my birthday buddy.
It's been an honor working with you guys. Homophobic, racist asshole.
Yeah. The biggest thing is today's. I told you guys, I said, hey, you got 8 minutes to say something that would that you think should be said, but will change someone's life,
Right.
for the positive. Does that
Right.
make sense?
Yeah.
So like it's the whole thing comes from like TED Talks, right? Have you ever so the TED Talks is basically life changing, advice in under, like some of them are like 20 minutes, but they're basically very short and they're life changing. Some of the things, some things are sometimes personal stories or anecdotes or, entertaining, it may be a piece of music or whatever, but
I
it's
listened to a really good one this morning.
Yeah.
I did.
All right. Well, and so, I said, hey, this is the key to it though, So the key to TED Talks, a lot of people don't realize this. This is stuff that if you were asked on the spot, you would be able to give this advice.
Right.
You
And
see what I'm saying?
And that's what
So
you
like-
did. That's
so
what you
yeah,
did to us.
exactly. Like everybody goes like, we have
Well,
fucking
shit,
no time to prepare this shit.
Yeah.
Well, you're talking about life-changing advice. That should be shit that you live by every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what you're saying today, and this is the key, this is the challenge, is that what should you choose to share? What you're saying today is life-changing and is something you've had on you the whole time. Oh, something just died on my thing here.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what it is.
No, he's,
The screen.
Okay.
You're still alive, but
Another thing
screen
that
is
came up.
black.
Something on the screen. I
This
got a
one?
black screen on there. No, right here.
It's pretty big too.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It's an offensive
black screen.
giant black screen. So anyway, but Tricia, you were saying something. You did. Oh, black screen's back. Black and black.
You're just making me motion sick because you keep all over the place.
So what did you do the other day? You were talking about
So, this whole weekend was.
You had a great night.
I had allegedly.
allegedly. We've got to remember the word.
Can't be heard on the
Yeah.
out world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So no, this weekend was pretty fun because my co-host Aaron and
Can't
I.
hear him.
You can't hear me?
No.
No, see, she can't hear.
Stand by.
Stand by.
Stand by.
Standing.
Actually, I'm kidding.
Check.
What?
Are
you serious?
What?
made me do
A sound check.
Uh,
I'd already done a sound check.
uh,
on myself
my
and
God.
sound check myself again?
Oh yeah.
There, now I can hear you.
Oh, I was about to sanction.
So that was
you.
Amanda.
Yeah. Birthday buddy.
No, this weekend was really fun. I got to hang out with Aaron and myself, not my boss Aaron, my co-host Aaron
Yeah.
from With the Side of Chaos.
You need to like actually change their names. Like so like
I'll just call him AA Ron.
There
you
you
know,
go.
that would
well,
be-
that's kind of like we actually have a page in operation manual or the rescue company one when you have multiple people by the first name. So let me solve this problem. for you.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
So who was there first? Which one did you have first?
AA Ron.
So your co-host Aaron.
Yes.
So that's just Aaron.
Yeah, that's Aaron.
Okay. Your boss Aaron is Black Aaron.
She is sassy. I'll give her that.
Yeah. So you got regular Aaron and you got Black Aaron.
I can do that.
Yeah. And then we
She'll be
know.
fine with it.
You'll always know.
You
You'll
know,
always know who
like
it is.
Trish has got a bunch of Amy's. We got one.
I would say you text Aaron and let her know she's Black Aaron
Yeah,
from now on.
yeah. So like for example, for us here at the Rescue Company, we have Mike, who's an Asian guy,
Mhm.
right? But he was here first.
Yeah.
So then the other Mike this year is just a white dude, Mike. So we call him Asian Mike.
I love it. I fucking love it.
Because the one that's really Asian was here first. It was just Mike.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
But no, it was a fun weekend because did you guys know what was going on in downtown Orlando on Saturday?
No,
There was a Puerto Rican Day Parade festival
no shit.
that I had no fucking idea about.
Oh yeah.
And I was leaving the gym because I met up with a buddy in Kissimmee, and I'm coming back up Roslyn, and I see all these Puerto Rican flags. I'm like, oh shit,
Oh yeah.
I know what this means. And then I pulled up to one of them, to these guys in a Jeep, and I'm like, oye, papi, ¿qué lo que pasa hoy?
Mami.
Ya tú sabes, mira, ese
nervioso,
tipo-
quiere pelear conmigo, que vaya para su casa.
Immediately they were like, yo, it's a Puerto Rican festival. I'm like, crap. So I start blaring some reggaeton in my car. I'm like, I'll be right back.
Yeah. You started simulating.
Yeah,
As we would
I
call it.
started adapting to my surroundings. And Aaron was already Aaron was already meeting me at the office to do a show. And I text him
Which
like,
one?
Regular Aaron.
Regular
or
Aaron.
Black
Regular Aaron.
no,
Okay,
Black.
I'm just asking.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
just Aaron. He's just Aaron. See, this is what already 2 minutes. Not following rules.
So I text him. I'm like, dude, are you at the office yet? He's like, yeah, I'm waiting. I'm like, all right, cool. We're going on a field trip. He's like, uh-oh. So I pick him up. I open the door. I'm like, dude, get in. We're doing Spanish shit. And he's
Yeah.
like, dude, no, I already passed that shit. I'm not going back there. I'm like,
eat the fuck out of some food.
so I get him in the car and we drive down Orange Avenue and the traffic is already like, I mean, you already have downtown traffic and you put in Puerto Ricans.
Oh, yeah.
It's freaking San Juan at this point.
Oh, yeah.
It's like San Juan met New York and there's just no moving throughout Orange Ave. So we parked my car for a few.
We got nowhere to be. We get we have plenty of time.
Tienen tiempo, está bien, está bien. And we get out for like 5-10 minutes, walk around, and we're watching the festival. Now, mind you, There's a lot of assets out there.
There's a whole lot of assets.
There's a whole lot of
Yeah.
assets out there, and a lot of potential.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So Aaron and I were like, dude, this is we got some material. Let's go back to the office. So we get in the car, and then we have to do the biggest U-turn on downtown Orlando to go up Roslyn. And as we're passing Roslyn, I see USA flags, and then I see the black and blue and white flags. I'm like, oh shit, bro,
Must stop.
we have to stop right now.
Absolutely.
And we pull in, and I do the fastest parallel park because there was a semi truck probably around 300 to 400 feet behind me.
Yeah.
So I just pull it in, park, and he's like, dude, what are we doing? I'm like, we're going in, bro. We're going into the belly of the beast. We're gonna find out what's going on in downtown.
What's going on right here?
And it's an anti-vax, anti-mask rally
Wow.
in downtown Orlando
At the same time.
at the same time.
So
I
just,
mean, they're the same people.
so just people that want COVID.
and tequila and tacos was going on Wall Street.
Nice.
Oh,
So there was so much
so much going on.
like double negatives going on that weekend that we decided to go into the rally, and we're listening to the protesters, and they're all holding up signs, the vaccine kills, that there shouldn't be a band-aid for masks, and this guy is saying it's Nuremberg 2.0, Nazi
Nuremberg.
Germany.
Jesus Christ.
And we're just walking around, and we hear this guy like, look what happened in Australia. We look at each other like he can't even point out Australia on the freaking map.
Yes.
And these are the opinions of Patricio and not of the rescue company one. Just want to put that out there.
Interesting thing that they bring up Nuremberg. Like, what do those people think actually happened?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like the Nuremberg trials were the war crimes that were committed by German officers
Yeah.
during World War II.
Well, there's actually the Nuremberg rules.
This is good.
The Nuremberg rules are actually what you use for research anytime humans are involved. So, like, after
What not to do?
What not to do. so those where those
Which
come from. They actually
don't
come
always follow.
post trial. They come post trial, post like all the different things that happen. So like it just seemed like they're using like weird shit to like the stupid,
Yeah.
something
And
crazy. But let me in a sidebar. How long do you think it would actually take me to find that song on my iTunes that I was just singing?
Which one?
probably about 45 seconds.
Let's see.
I
Hold
don't
on.
even
Are
think
you
I
ready to
picked
tell
that
me?
one.
Hold on a second.
10.
But no, as we're going in there, they're talking about Nazi Germany. They're talking about Nuremberg 2.0. Biden's
Ain't
Was
that
it 10
shit?
seconds? Did I win?
What's it say right here? Oh yeah, it's my shit.
Yeah.
Oh man. By the way, this could be the most offensive song ever. The name of the song is El Africano. That's all I'm gonna say.
isn't there a group called Los Africanos?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yes.
But
That's the name of the song.
wrapping up the story because I know we have a
Yeah.
lot to talk
Yeah.
about. We're walking around and dude, I did not know, and this is going to be a little bit fucked up for me to say. There was a group of firefighters
Yeah.
who are extremely anti-vax.
No shit. Huh?
Yeah, like they were out there. They had their symbols, their
Well, you know a
flag,
couple of them.
and I didn't know. Like they were out there. They're doing their speeches, and I must have done like 2 or 3 laps in this
No
area because
shit,
they were at the amphitheater. And at one point, this lady comes up, and now mind you, I'm all the way in the back, and this lady comes up on stage, and the person next to me, as I'm passing them, they're like, "She's wearing a fucking mask. Take off your fucking mask. Aren't you a patriot? Take off your fucking mask."
That's so crazy.
And I'm just like, it's her body, her choice. I think. Like, does
Oh,
that
no,
rule?
we
It
don't
is
subscribe to that
amazing
anymore.
that people like will call you a traitor because you're expressing your rights to do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah,
You know
they
what I
kept
mean?
they kept saying the entire time.
That is
you know,
crazy, the
We're,
firemen,
we're all
uh,
patriots here. We're all patriots here.
What does that
We're not
mean?
gonna.
What does that
But it
have
was
to
funny
do with
because they said
anything?
we're all patriots here. We're not going to listen to the government. I'm like,
Well, okay.
okay, I don't think that's how patriotism works.
Yeah, absolutely.
But moving on, and this is where I'm going to end it. As I'm walking away, 2 quick things. I take a photo of myself, and behind me are all these anti-vaxxers. They're holding
Yeah.
up the sign saying, the
Yeah.
vaccine kills, all this shit.
Yeah.
And I take a selfie, and I make it my profile picture. with the banner that says "I got my vaccine, thumbs up." Just I'm being a troll,
yeah.
Fuck you, my opinions. But as I'm walking by, there are these 5 or 6 kids ranging from 6 years old to about 12. And they're all wearing plastic firefighter helmets.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're all holding the signs. And one little girl says this: "God didn't make you a mask." Little boy, the government can't tell you what to do. The vaccine kills. And I'm just looking at these kids. I'm like, okay, you're whatever you've been spoon fed is what you've been fed. Okay, I'm walking away. And then I hear again, "This country is turning into Nazi Germany." And I'm like, okay, you that's your opinion. Well, I feel like I just passed the Hitler Youth right now with what you guys got going on with these kids.
And, I like to do research to like be able to comment intelligently about shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like it's weird, man, what people use to try to like steer other people on other shit. It is amazing.
Yeah. Well, some people just listen to the first thing that they're told.
Yeah.
And they run with it. And that's it.
Put make a note here because this is pretty good. I gotta remember to talk about this.
Now, were those kids? Do they have blonde hair and blue eyes? Or
yes?
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Holy shit! Now I think about it, they did.
So
I was checking.
The firefighter thing is not shocking. As a firefighter myself, and Jason's here. I'm a son of a firefighter.
Yep.
And the grandson of a firefighter, so I can intelligently speak with this. Like my dad used to always say, if it wasn't for the fire department, there'd be a lot more homeless people.
Right.
And jails would be more overly populated.
There you go.
Yeah.
You see Nuremberg Trials 2.0 coming soon.
Oh my God.
And it's just
So I was looking at I was watching this thing, a bigger, stronger, faster. It's a documentary. It's on Amazon, and it starts off with like 1983 was this year we're like fighting Iran, and the guy goes, I know that shit was gonna be okay because the greatest enemy we had was the Iron Sheik at that time, and then the guy goes and Hulk Hogan comes in with like a Made in America shirt and kicks Iron Sheik's ass. So like the things about steroids, you know what I mean? And it's crazy as shit. Like you start looking at like the congressional hearings, in the history of the United States by this time. So this is 2005 now when this thing is made, right? 2005, 2007. So congressional hearings, like how many times have they been called in the U.S.? If you don't know this, like right now, I think like 61 times. But then when they did the show, 55 times in the history of the United States.
Oh, wow.
Where they actually call congressional hearings on outside topics. Like, you know what I mean? So like, that's a big deal.
Yeah. And I remember like the WWE was facing a lot of stuff with steroid use.
Yeah. So basically the longest time that they've met to do these congressional hearings is the steroid thing, right? Check this out. This is fucking good. So longer, they met less for the JFK shit. They met less for decisions to go to war. Okay. For healthcare. Like the healthcare initiatives.
Well, that explains it.
Less days, right?
Right.
Who's the lead person in Congress leading the congressional hearings on steroids? This is gonna fuck you up.
Ventura.
Nah.
Newt Gingrich?
Nah. I'll give you a hint. He's currently the president of the United States.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, the dude fucking ran like he basically single-handedly tried to like fuck over baseball. Oh, guess what his main source of evidence was? This is the best part of the whole shit. They call the congressional hearings. Jose Canseco's book. Jose fucking Canseco. By the way, 11. You can look this shit up. 1,100 some odd misspellings in his book.
Oh,
and improper uses of grammar in English.
How do you write a book and not have?
Dude, I go.
You whatever you write it, but somebody else has to
It's pretty
review it.
sad, man.
Yeah.
That's like that's what was that birthday, buddy?
I want to know who that should be fired.
You cut enough. I hear that. Yeah. Oh.
Get on the Wi-Fi.
I am.
Oh.
I said, I want to know who the editor was because they should be fired.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, man. Like it, but so that was something interesting that I saw this week and stuff, but
that's crazy.
let's do these TED Talks shit because I think it's gonna be interesting. So I have picked a random order of which people are gonna go in, and I got Patricio.
Okay.
These orders were picked from a random hat.
Now,
This hat.
I remember before the show started. I was talking with Jason, and Jason was just kind of freaking out because he didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to talk about. He didn't know how to move forward with the TED Talk. And I told him a story when I was a child that I had to do a book report. But the thing was, we had to read this book. It was whatever book you wanted to read, and give a 5 to 10 minute presentation about it to the class. Mind you, I'm 10 years old. I have karate, I have basketball, and I have a job. I'm working at a bodega.
So shit, yeah.
So I have zero time to do outside of the normal that I am required in school. I have a good grade point average. I'm, got A's and B's throughout my classes, and I have to do a fucking book report. I don't have the time. And I was telling him that I literally took the book and looked at the cover, flipped it over, read 5 or 6 pages from here and there, and made up a story to this book report. Now, the reason why I picked this book was because back in my day, we had these little papers on the front of books at the library that told you when was the last time it got checked out.
Yeah.
And the last time it got checked out was 5 years before said date. So I'm like, no one has read this book.
Check.
And I'm like, you know what? I think I can get away with this. So took the book, flipped through it, looked at the pictures, made it up. And the day of the presentation, I went up there.
Yeah.
And I said the name of the book, the author, and I just went at it. And I told my own story of what I picked up from the cover, the back and the front of the book, and a few pages here and there. I made up my own story, and I went with it. But the thing was, I didn't lose focus on the class, the teacher. I kept eye contact with every single one, and I made up the story and got an A. I hadn't read the book. I hadn't done my job. I didn't do jack shit. And I got applause. Good job, Patrick, because that's how they knew me in Chicago at the time.
Patrick.
And I walked away. I'm like, yo, I didn't do jack shit. I literally just got up there and improvised and just got away with it. I bullshit my way through this story. And sometimes in life, you're gonna have to bullshit your way through a lot of things. And the one thing that I take away from that experience is like, just because you may not know how to do it or may not have the experience or the know-how, if you have the drive, if you got to do it, just fucking do it. Swallow the pride, swallow the fear, because the fear itself is only going to hold you back. Fear is going to be your biggest opponent. Fear is going to be the guy that's just going to get in your fucking way. And what do you do with things that get in your way? You move it, you push it, you just get it out of the way, and you meet your goal. You get the job done. And yeah, okay, I will admit, as a child, was wrong. I didn't do the work. I didn't do the effort. I made my own rules. I made my own game. And at the end of the day, I made it, and I got an A. There have been a lot of times in life where I've been given a job or responsibility that, because people just a lot of time have faith in me because I'm the go-getter. I get the job done. 9 times out of 10, I kind of bullshit my way through it because whether it's Google, YouTube, a little bit of research, but I'm gonna get the job done. And having the drive is all of what you have inside.
Yeah.
And many times, like I said, you're gonna get in your own way. You just got to get out of the way and just get it done. If I can bullshit my way through a book report at 10 years old, and now doing marketing and working legal at a great law firm, running podcasts left and right. I didn't go to school for law. I didn't go to school for broadcasting. The reason why I got a job as a broadcaster in Colorado was because I was a DJ at a fucking strip club.
Yeah.
Even at that time, I didn't even know how to DJ. I just knew how to press play.
Yeah. That's it. Gentlemen right now. Top of the hour is coming up, and you got Melissa up on stage. Amber, you are on deck. Remember, this is going to be 3 songs, guys. Last song is going to be no bottoms. Everybody's working hard. So you get hard. Tip properly, tip well, tip all the time.
So
I also did that job. Yeah.
sometimes, life gives you bullshit. Hey, you can't bullshit a bullshitter if you know your bullshit.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good one. See, man, that's not that bad. Good job. It's life changing for somebody. Life changing for
Kids,
somebody.
I hope you're listening at home. Okay.
Jason, did you prepare?
You don't. Of course, I prepared.
Oh, yeah,
That's why I was freaking out earlier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. Like he was probably just like.
Hold on a second. What? All right. I've heard a TED Talk, but I don't know what it is. What the hell am I supposed to do?
I'm sure you were ready for it, but
Something life changing.
It's not your turn. So,
damn it.
Birthday buddy, were you part of this whole thing? Did you prepare?
No, but I mean, maybe that'll make it more interesting.
Let's give it to me. I'm gonna put you ready. Go.
Life changing. I'm gonna go with something else Jason was inspiring about today, and something I had to remind him of is to follow your gut. It doesn't usually steer you wrong if you're in a situation that you're not really sure what direction you should go, but you have kind of an instinct that's telling you you need to go one way, but somebody else is trying to push you another. Go with your gut. It's not usually wrong, especially in certain cases and in, careers like you guys have all had. You rely a lot on instincts and what your gut's telling you to do. So I think that that's something that I wish a lot more people could do is just go with your gut and follow what it says. And kind of like what Patricio says too, fake it till you make it.
That's true.
Her words, not mine.
See, that's good. Not even 8, it's like 2 minutes.
Yeah,
good.
It was a good one.
All right, so here we go. You ready? You ready there?
Oh, it's me?
Yeah, it's
I'm allowed now.
It's
okay.
you.
All right.
Ready? Go.
Sure. So I felt like I should have a cordless mic and walking around.
Yeah,
I really need.
Do you not know what to do with your hands?
I don't.
We're already gonna keep seeing this the whole time.
Yeah, it's basically he likes to smell his hands and then you put them underneath his armpits and then bring them up.
Love it. All right. So my life-changing TED Talk is going to be about someone who's life-changing, a person that comes into your life. It's life-changing.
It says that I'm being removed from this thing here.
I'm sorry.
Do you see that?
Oh, he's telling stories about me.
Oh,
okay. Put her. She's sanctioned.
Yeah.
She's not allowed to talk anymore.
Yeah.
So, as a young kid, I didn't really have much. I had to kind of just do my own thing, and I had very little in the means of monetary stuff and being able to go do sports and activities and stuff like that. So and on top of that, my dad wasn't really around. He was Mexican. No, I'm just kidding. He was only around on the weekends.
Yeah.
So I didn't really have that.
You fucking asshole. I really have abandonment issues. All right, my daddy wasn't there.
So I had a person in my life when I was young that kind of helped me kind of feel that father figure.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's as weird as it may sound, it was one of my teachers, and it was a male teacher. He was my 4th grade teacher, and he's one of those tough guys that hunted and fished and whatever. Well, he was a Vietnam veteran. He didn't fit that profile as a teacher. Okay. Yeah. So one of the things, I was talking to his wife just recently about it. He was a paratrooper, and he recently got a Bronze Star with Valor for something he did 53 years ago.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But why does it take 53 years to do that?
Yeah.
So basically what my whole thing is, there's people that come into your life and they can do something small and basically change your entire life. The younger you are, obviously, the more they're going to change your life because you have more life to live.
Absolutely.
But he took the time as a teacher. You know, I was very special when I was younger. If you know,
Specializing, like, you know,
Ed, you know,
Yeah.
special ed.
Check,
Yeah,
check.
yeah.
I thought
yeah.
your name was Jason.
Yeah. So like when you know back then you weren't really treated as much for your disability.
Yeah.
You know, so I wasn't treated at all. You know, I just, hey, you're a bad kid, whatever, and I got that over and over and over. So, but he would go that extra mile. He would do things. We had 4-H back in the day. I don't know if they still do or not, but they do. So we did like a hunter safety class, and it was awesome because we would go fishing and we would go shooting and you know learn safety that way. So it was always a good thing. And then years later, you know, I'm in the fire department now, and he would invite me to go to his school and talk to his kids that were bad again. You know, the worst of the worst they would send to him. You know, and so I would go back and talk to him, and now he's hopefully he is retired, but he's hopefully having a nice life over in Montana, out in the woods somewhere.
Yeah.
So
That's
awesome.
awesome.
That's my little story.
Man, so that's changing right there.
Yeah.
Changing, made you a better man.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
That's pretty cool. Baby, what you got?
Well, I had nothing until I heard part of Patricia's story.
Hold on, because I'm gonna set your clock.
She's like, I can do better.
It's not
than
going to be very long. It's mostly for helicopter parents. I think that oftentimes parents, they love their kids as much as, you know, everybody else, but some struggle helps kids develop a little bit better. It develops coping mechanisms that if they don't develop when they're young, they're not necessarily going to develop as an adult. And I think when you do let your kids struggle, it helps them be more successful in the long term.
Amen.
That doesn't mean that, you know, you have to abuse them, but, you know, a little bit of struggle, I think, works wonders for them.
Yeah.
They need to learn how to cope with disappointment and mom and dad not fixing everything for them, or maybe today at school wasn't great, or I mean, you still have to learn how to be okay with that and move on and push forward and still have a positive attitude.
Awesome.
That's all.
That's great. I can't wait for these kids. I can't wait for these kids to.
How can I
get
reach
older.
these kids?
Yeah.
Because right now, one of the things on my list was customer service. It's shit. There's no customer service anymore.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a damn.
No,
You know?
I do.
Oh, you don't want it? Go somewhere else. And that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and you know, it's so kind of like what Spears heads this whole thing. One of the things we get a lot of questions is like, how do I get to be a flight nurse? How do I get to be a flight paramedic? And how do I get to be where you're at? You know, like, so we, you know, a lot of times when we're on the helicopter and stuff, we'll fly. Do you have any more of America's beer anywhere?
You got it?
Yeah. So like a lot of times we'll fly places, Patricia, and like people like go, hey man, I would love to do your job. How did you get to be there? Or somebody will say, hey man, it looks like it's pretty hard to do that job. Like, you know, it seems impossible that I could never do it. And so if I this is why I wore this, because like I'm gonna travel back in time. So it's a time travel agent.
Yeah.
I can do that. So, you know, so I'm back in time. And I can think of a kid that like you could never tell me no. Like you couldn't tell me no that there's no way that I would be able not to be where I'm at today. Like as far as flying on a helicopter, because like, you know, I was going to do that. I was going to be a firefighter. I was going to do the things I wanted to do, you know. And a lot of times I'm a strong believer that, you know, you can have dreams and the dreams can be so impossibly thinking that, you know, but achievable. You see what I mean? Like, you know, there is places that, you know, you just can't make sometime. But a lot of times you'll get a lot from not accomplishing those dreams. You know what I'm saying? Like I played football my whole life. Like I've played football still till this year. I still play on a semi-pro team here in Orlando. And like, You know, I got a lot from being shitty at football. Like, I was great. I was a good high school player. I was, mediocre college player. And but I was never going to be a professional football player.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, not with that attitude.
Yeah. Sometimes it's got to be realistic. But what did I get?
Yeah, absolutely.
What did I get from all those years of being on the football field? I'm a good team player. I think about the other people on the team before I think about myself. And that's made me be able to be, collaborate with people, do different things, be great at it. Because you know what, man? Like, it's not in the one thing that Teddy Roosevelt, he's a good, he would never assign somebody to a position of leadership that never played football. So if he's going into battle, all his people beneath him, they all played football.
That's nice.
And you know why? Because he wanted somebody that knew how to be part of a team, knew how to lead a team.
Yeah.
And like, you get a lot from the game, and I learned how to be a team player then. So I always think that one of the most important things you can do is be a team player. Like, that's a life-changing thing for me. And I felt that I was going to be able to accomplish any goal and survive anything I ever wanted in life if I was a member of a team. Does that make sense?
No, 100%. And I feel that football itself is the one game where, like, it is a full team effort, because if the linebacker isn't where he needs to be, if the wide receiver isn't where he needs to be, if anyone is out of place, the play is going to fail. The points aren't going to be made, or points going to be made against them. Everyone has to know their role for everyone to be victorious.
Yeah.
I mean, in basketball and in hockey, everyone takes their individual shots, but it's a collective effort.
Yep.
But
in
football, completely different. It is a full team effort to get that one goal. Yes, sir.
Ooh. So what do you think? Besides football being the only topic, what actually makes people? What made you want to do everything that everybody told you couldn't do? Like, what do you think it is?
Well, something, Jason, that's a good question, man. I'll tell you exactly what it was. I was my short experience. I do think that almost like Ricky Bobby's dad, right? Like, he used to tell me, if you're not first, you last.
Yeah.
And then he meets his dad again in the future, and he goes, "Shit, son, you could be third, you could be fourth." He goes, "I was high as fuck at that time." Now, I lost my dad when I was like 9 years old, and like I do think that maybe I don't have the full information, but from what I can remember from that man, he told me that you could do whatever the fuck you want, and that there's no option other than winning.
Right.
The option is to win, and if you don't think you could quit at something, if you don't think that that's an option, then there's no quit in you. And and that's what that meant to me. And like, that's why I could push as hard as I could, and I was gonna make whatever the fuck I wanted to do. And that's just always been my mentality.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Currently, like, us here at the company, we're talking a little bit about this stuff today. It's like we're kind of staring a big monster in the face, and we're kind of like against something that people would fear, and that's okay. It's okay to be scared of it. I'm scared as fuck of like the stuff, but I'm not scared of failure.
Right.
And that's the reality. Is I don't fear failure. I don't feel that I'm against something that I can't not beat. And that is and maybe I'm just, again, still working on half information, because the man couldn't tell me the second part of the story because he died. You know what I'm saying? So I could be like, "Son, shit, fuck, like, you could have failed at that shit." You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
well, the thing is, it's like saying somebody shouldn't be scared of heights.
Yeah.
Everybody should be scared of heights.
Yeah, I'm scared
myself.
But yeah.
It's not necessarily that. It's on the understanding of what happens when you fall. Like, don't be stupid and go, jumping off trees 100 feet up the air, whatever. There's a reason that you're scared, and that's okay. So just make sure that you're doing it the right way.
Yeah, man, like, it's crazy. I can tell you a couple stories where, like, somebody would, they go, "Hey, who wants to do this thing?" And let's allegedly be speaking about scuba diving. Like, they go, "Hey, who wants to go in? I'll do it." And then, I get all dressed, and people tell you how to do the shit, and I'm like, "Okay, cool." and then go in. I'm doing patterns. I'm searching around and shit. And then they go, "You are a diver, right?" No, this is my first one. You know what I mean? Like, but he goes, "Why the fuck did you volunteer for it?" I said, I thought you were asking for who wanted to go.
Right.
You know, and like, listen, man, like, reality is this shit, man. I'm was I comfortable there? No. But I seek to be uncomfortable. You know, like my man David Goggins. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Like my man David Goggins says. He says what? Be uncommon amongst uncommon people.
Somebody just spilled cherry juice on my computer.
Oh, I spilled your cherry juice earlier. Let me ask you something, man. Just as a side note, if you got like a time schedule in the morning time, and you know somebody's got to keep the time schedule, but you know somebody needs their medicine in the morning,
right?
Allegedly speaking, you know, hey, look like right over there. You know,
was anybody late?
No, nobody was late, but there was some
Were
rushing.
we even close to being late?
It's not the point. What I'm saying is the time schedule sometimes isn't kept because somebody is slightly inconsiderate. I say that because Josh.
If I had gotten my medicine earlier, then we wouldn't have to fuck up the schedule.
Allegedly, we're talking about dick,
right?
Yes, allegedly.
And that comes first, apparently. Yes. So you know,
but no, it's
rates high.
I'm sorry to interject on this one, but you were talking about failure, and
you're not interjecting.
One quote that like I just had to look it up to make sure I got it right, and it comes from Thomas Edison. And he was asked, you know, what it took to create the light bulb. It was 10,000 trials and errors, and the reporter was like, "Why didn't you stop?"
Because I figured out 10,000 ways not to make a light bulb.
Exactly. I just found 10,000 ways that won't work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Failure's your best teacher.
Exactly. Yeah. And I remember from like when I started podcasting, my first few episodes were jack shit. The quality, the content, like I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. But I had the drive, the desire to do it. It just, if you want something bad enough, you're gonna fail.
Yes.
And a couple of times. And from that failure, you're gonna learn how not to do it.
Yeah.
So you can practice different ways on getting it done.
All I can do is hope that my kids, when they get older, they're not these assholes that are out there now. Right?
So,
I'd
not quit the first
just
time.
like you said. The whole helicopter mom, helicopter dad, whatever. That's not me. Yeah. I'm gonna make them do the job, whatever it is. You do it. You're very capable of doing it.
So a lot of people probably out there going like, "What the fuck does this have to do with being a flight paramedic and a flight nurse?" I'm getting there. So the reality is that and I say this quite a bit. Experience is what you get when you didn't get what you wanted. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like that's what experience is, right? So what is the first requirement of coming up to that interview day, besides time, is experience. You see a lot of people will mark time and they go, "Fuck, I just got my 3 years. Yes, I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna take this class, I'm gonna do this thing, and then I'm ready to go work on the helicopter." But you know something? You have to fail so much. And as a flight nurse, as a flight paramedic, before you get there, so you can make those situations less and less. Mm-hmm. A lot of times we have decisions on the fly, and we base those off things that didn't go right a few times. Right. Times that we made the wrong decisions, times that we made the wrong changes, and you got to be able to cope with criticism and responsibilities. Absolutely. So to be a good decision maker, you have to fail, and you have to seek the right experience. You have to leave areas where you're comfortable and go get uncomfortable. That's the first step in being a flight paramedic and a flight nurse. And I've heard many talks. I listened to probably like I'll take that back. Probably like 5 different people, on YouTube and stuff, were like how to be a flight nurse, how to be a flight paramedic. And they give you they go to this class, do this thing, go seek this thing. And let me tell you something. You know what you need? Calls. Yeah. Sometimes you have to leave. Let's say you're at a job where you make a lot of money, but you don't run calls there. You know what? You have to leave that place and go run calls. Mm-hmm. If you're a nurse and you like where you work and you get paid really good money, guess what? We don't get paid a whole bunch of times. We don't get paid a lot of money. Right. And we have to leave those we have to like sacrifice those things. If you like off time, well, shit, you ain't gonna get a whole bunch of that yet. So you got to be willing to make those sacrifices. Let me tell you, Jason, one of the things that I've noticed right now as a nurse, you can write your ticket anywhere you want.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
you can go
It's
make
crazy.
You can go make COVID money. You can go do all this stuff. And the reality is you can like go say, hey, fuck this job right now. I'm going to go make COVID money. I can be picking up in the ER for like, $700 bonuses and shit like that. We've been short at my job, my current helicopter where I'm at. But, we've been gutting it out with no bonuses. We've been gutting it out with nothing. Just, getting our asses kicked and doing the job because we love it.
Right.
You know something? That is dedication.
Mhm.
And the next thing, point number 2, that you need to be good at this job and get it, you have to be dedicated. You have to be willing to undo things you don't fucking like doing because you love the job.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
In aviation medicine, and I'm telling this to everybody, carry this with you. Don't be loyal to the color you wear, be loyal to the job.
Mm-hmm.
The helicopter business is fickle, man. Vendors change, helicopters change, things change. I hear people go, I'll never fly in a single engine helicopter. Well, there's a fucking thousands of people that do our job on single engines, and that's all they got.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll never fly in this thing. If we change to this, if this company comes in, I'm gonna quit. Well, you know what? You don't love the job.
Right.
Because you know who you gotta love is the patient you ain't seen yet.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine risking it all. Like, you gotta understand. I've buried hundreds of friends, like not just people that like did the job and they died and like I'm fuck, man, I didn't know that guy. No, hundreds of people that I've personally said hi to, hundreds of people that I've done this with. Hey, cheers, you know what I mean?
Right.
And taking a drink with. I people that I've spent time with, that I've gone to their funerals, that I've seen them die. Not seen them die, but you know what I'm saying? I seen them put them into the ground.
Yeah.
And the reality is this, man. You still gotta love the job.
Right.
You still gotta love the job.
I love the job, but I hate Trish right now.
Yeah.
The job is to save people. I mean, without that person there, you want to talk about some shit.
Yeah.
When I was in Bolivia, somebody died. A woman died giving birth.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure people die in the United States from giving birth, but I guarantee
Not as
you.
often.
Exactly.
Oh,
I guarantee
Well,
you.
I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, you just fucked up. You just fucked
Oh.
up.
I totally did just fuck up.
You
I should
fucking
not-
fucked up. Jason, I'm about to
I
stop
did.
your story to correct.
Oh,
By the way,
Jesus.
by the way,
after I said it, I was like, "Oh,
I
that
have
was
a
not
retraction
true
to make
story.
from last week. Patricia was right. There
Sorry.
was a general lead during the Revolutionary
The American
War.
Revolution.
The American
It has
Revolution.
something to do with Pitocin, right?
Yeah.
If
So
My name is
started-
Patricio.
No, I'm wrong.
so
Again.
check this out. If you took what they call modern world, okay, modern
it's
like
worse.
modern developed countries is actually the word that they use on this.
Okay.
So in the top 10 developed countries, we have the most fatalities for.
Are you
He's right.
kidding me?
No,
That-
he's not kidding.
Jesus
He's totally right.
Christ.
It's
That's
the
horrible.
craziest thing, and you know why? It's we don't like call women too old to fucking have babies. Like there's countries that they go, hey, you're too fucking old to have a baby.
Okay.
Hey, you have a genetic condition.
Yeah,
you shouldn't
those
have a
people should
fucking baby.
stop.
So
Yeah.
so that's why. So Trish was wrong.
I was totally wrong, and right after I said it, I knew I was wrong.
Well, I just like to correct because it's an educational podcast.
yes, I know.
You're
and-
currently
I'm
providing.
sorry
wrong
to get you in
information.
trouble.
And
That wasn't my intention.
So we'll just go ahead and add 2 minutes to that and proceed on with the talk.
I thought something had to do with Pitocin too, right?
As far as what? Like
As far as fatalities.
well, you can research that in your 2 minutes while you're not. while it's not anything.
Okay.
So my third point is on this whole thing. So far we've talked about being prepared, having experience.
Mhm.
Okay, loyalty is a big one. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like here's the third one. This is what you need to become a flight nurse. You gotta be an honest person.
Well, that's difficult
You gotta be,
for lots of people.
well, it's
Yeah.
difficult for people in the penalty box to scream out answers.
I do not have a hard time being an honest person.
So you have to be honest, man. You have to be like a person that people can trust you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean,
in the world of nursing, let's talk nursing for a second here. In the world of nursing, nursing's been taught the same way for so many years. And the reality is that whole eat your young fucking away that you teach this shit is not working. People come out and they learn how to be assholes.
okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They learn how to be assholes and they learn how to like not care about the person that works next to you.
Right.
Yeah, I understand that whole aggressiveness of like, let's be extremely aggressive in the way we treat and protect our patients. You see, in nursing, Jason, like we basically work as a net to protect the patient from harm that medicine could cause them.
Right.
Create for them.
Mm-hmm.
So like we basically work our way back from the patient to the medicine. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
And like when you're trying to make the patient's environment the absolute best, make their comfort, make them like feel whole again, and try to nurse them back to like their full actual potential. That is fucking nursing right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it doesn't change if the environment changes, right? So if we're in the helicopter, you still got to be a nurse.
Okay. Yep.
So you first thing is to create that trusting relationship with the patient, and that means you can't be a liar.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't be a liar.
Sure.
Okay. Well, the best way you create that best environment in the small thing we work is if everybody works together, the absolute best. But if your partner doesn't trust you because you're an asshole, you're not the best fucking nurse that could be there.
Right.
Now, from the paramedic side, you can't really look at things like I'm by myself, like usually
She's out of the penalty box.
Is she out? Cool. So if
Still
you're
reading. Hold on.
if you're as a paramedic, sometimes you're once you make it to the helicopter, you were that lead guy. You were that person at the fire department or girl that they like would do the things, like, hey, this is the hard airway. Jason's gonna get this
Right.
one.
Right.
You were that first person on there that would do that. Like now you're not working by yourself. You're not the guy. You're working with another person. This is the guy. Think about it this way. You were the best running back at your college. Now you're in an NFL team with 5 of the fucking top, 1% of all running backs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're in that 1%, act that way.
Yeah.
You score a touchdown, you don't need a dance.
No.
Right? Pretend
Absolutely.
like you've been there before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the biggest thing. Like you can't make things look like you're surprised when you get there.
Right.
So
the thing with those type of people is that they have such the ability to pass that along.
You have to
and help other people.
You have to. Yeah. Hold that thought for a second, because that's huge. Like that's a huge thing. I'm gonna get that's actually my next point.
Okay.
But check the scenario out. You get in the back of this ambulance and you got this fucking like just horrifically looking tongue sticking out of the mouth, vomitous, edema, swelling, or the worst airway you've ever seen in your whole entire life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And people have missed it. You're stepping on all the endotracheal tubes that they have tried to put into this person's throat.
Yeah, I've been there.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
you
you just stepped into the back of this ambulance and you go,
what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You step in the back of this ambulance and you got to go, don't let that stuff bother you.
Yeah.
Be honest and go like, hey, this looks like a bad one.
Mm-hmm.
But you have the tools to fucking be that person there. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You have to calm everybody else in that place down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the only way you go like, guys, I don't know if I'm going to get this, but let's prepare for this.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Today we were teaching a class here, allegedly, in our current undisclosed location.
We're at a black site right now.
Yeah.
We may or may not be in Orlando.
Yeah. And the one thing that nobody could ever say is that, I didn't teach you the steps you needed to know. I taught you the right things. And like, Josh was here teaching today.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
That was
today. Yeah. It was
oh
good.
God, it was awesome to see.
And it's why it's amazing.
He was allegedly here.
Yeah,
No.
allegedly.
Well,
Yeah,
allegedly.
Yeah. But it's the one thing I got to tell you about this
Allegedly
dude,
not.
right? Like, you got to think about this is you talking about a year on the bench, like a year, and then all of a sudden you
Like
show
riding a bike.
up.
It's like when The Rock shows up at WrestleMania.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
It was
absolutely.
great. It was great.
Hey,
There should have been fireworks and shit
Cold.
when he was.
bro, you showed
Boom.
up cold
Mm,
and just like you just did it yesterday,
Yep.
and it's
I
great.
swear- Yeah.
That right there, and I told him today. I said, many things I would like to say that today's my last day on earth. I have left some legacies behind. And that's a great legacy right there.
Yep.
Because that's a dude off the bench that went fucking full on monk and go, that's how you debate right there. That's how you fucking debate. You know,
I just blacked out.
yeah, I just blacked out. The last thing I want to kind of pass on, and the thing that how do you get to be a flight paramedic, how to be a flight nurse, is this, man, is just educate others, pass it along.
You know what?
Encourage.
Allegedly,
Yeah,
you guys do a great job at that.
I appreciate
You really do, and
we try.
and it's something that I guess instead of being condescending, like there was a couple of medical directors I've had before.
Yeah.
And condescending, dickheads, assholes, whatever you want to call them. You know, instead of the ones that we have now that are willing to teach and explain and kind of guide you on what to do. You know, okay, you fucked up on this. All right, we'll research it, look it over, and then come back and give me a presentation. Tell me more about it.
Yeah.
And then there's discussion about it. You know, that's the kind of thing that helps people learn.
Yes.
Not badgering them and then they want to just give up.
Yeah.
You know,
I work for a doctor now, allegedly, and he's our medical director. And when he was a new medical director, allegedly, you know, as a young medical director, he was my medical director of the fire department. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I always like I would say that I always had chiefs and people that were in like the positions that thought I did too much.
Right.
And it would fucking personally offend them. Like it was offensive to them to the point that they would look at calls and they go, fuck, I got this guy. I got him now. And they would send me to the medical director, you know? And
hey, Carlos, come on in.
As a brand, yeah. So as a Dr. Sal Silvestri, man, I love that guy.
Him.
Yeah, and you know,
Fantastic.
Dr. Sal, God rest his soul. I would go in and he would have discussions with me about being a better person. You know what I mean? Like just be nicer about what you're saying.
God, don't say that.
And I go, Dr. Sal, you know, you're right.
Jason's heard that a few times.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my
Be nicer.
the deputy
Yeah,
chief.
because you know, this is the thing. You could be the smartest person in the world, but if you're an asshole, nobody wants to listen to you.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Nobody wants to listen to you. And he would say that, you know, it's a shame that people don't want to listen to what you got to say because you know, you're just a little bit too aggressive about the way you say it. And he would never call me an asshole, but that's what he meant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And you know, like that's the reality of the shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he was trying to shape a young guy, an 18-year-old dude that was telling the world to go fuck themselves because they were like this, you know, I got this shit.
Right.
The stuff came easy to me, like came easy in the sense of that I didn't fear doing things and I would do them. You know what I mean? And so this guy that I currently work for, me and him had a lot of meetings together, but he always looked at things in this way. The guy that's getting mud on his face and the guy that's doing it, just like, you know, is the man in the arena doing the shit. And if you millennials out there, that's a fucking speech. You should look it up. And when you're dirty, man, and you're getting this shit, you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the thing. Like, it's easy for that doctor to defend what you did, but he can't defend what you didn't do.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're thinking in the best interest of the patient, that doesn't mean to be aggressive and have no regard for what your problems do. You should know what you're doing and what you're causing. You should have good reasoning behind it.
Right.
And you should not be just stuck on a little tiny point. You should look at the whole picture.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like the biggest take homes from all this whole thing is like, hey man, don't lie to people. Be honest about shit. You know what I'm saying? Seek the experience. Seek being uncomfortable because it's the only way you're gonna get experience. And remembering, and like it's true to the definition, is experience is what you get when you didn't get what you wanted.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And seek that shit, and you got to seek it.
Put
man,
that on a fucking shirt.
Yeah,
God damn.
yeah.
I know. I'll buy it.
Yeah, it's not mine, man. I just,
buy it.
you know, and it's like, listen, the reality is, brother, that you got to go places. You got to fail. You got to fall on your face and recover from it.
So I'll throw some at you right now about that. So allegedly where I work, we have we are now going from a little transition from fire department to ambulance.
Yep.
And it has scared the shit out of so many guys
Yep.
because I pick up overtime on the ambulance or the rescue, but there are some guys that get mandatory for it, and when they get that mandatory, they are shitting their pants because they haven't had to function in that position in years or in a while. So that's definitely getting out of their comfort zone. Somebody told me this the other day. It was the funniest thing. They named off a couple guys that are picking up overtime on these rescues and on these ambulances. And like, I never would have thought this guy would have done that, because that was one of the guys that was like, not that guy. I never go on a rescue. I'll never do. Guess what? They're doing it. And you know what?
Because of the money.
It doesn't matter. I don't give a shit what it is, because they're doing it. They're putting themselves out there. And even if it's a force, they're learning more.
Yeah.
They're definitely learning more than the guy that's on the engine all the time, not really transporting anybody,
Yeah, no, man, it's like you got to put yourself in there. I'm trying to find this one quote because I think it's awesome. And as a firefighter paramedic, I was always a firefighter paramedic. And by the time I got to and I was lucky, bro. I was that 3-year guy that got to be on the helicopter and got the job.
Yeah, but you had a lot of experience too.
But yeah, I never shied away from calls, right?
Right. Yeah.
I never shied away from calls.
Exactly.
And it's amazing the amount of people that want it, that the fire department and the rescue, the ambulance burns them out. And yet they want to go do a transport job.
Yeah.
Because it goes in the air, right?
Right.
You know what the job is that we do? You transport patients.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like it's not like you're on the tower truck today.
Right.
And people will complain about going on flights. I watch people just burnt themselves out. I watch people in the rescue that lose their mind. And for me, those are joyous occasions.
I
like watching
Justin.
I like watching somebody's soul leave their body. As they're going like, fuck this, man. This is worse. You're like, we've had 7 calls today. Nobody's ever done one. And man,
Yeah,
like
the charting's easier for those.
yeah. Listen. I'm
just saying.
I looked at one of my favorite Justin times, and me and Justin fuck with the story is that I watched Justin, and I think I've said this on the podcast before. I just watched Justin just like look at this guy with bandages on his legs. Now, let's tell full disclosure on this. He had ran on this guy like a couple shifts earlier,
Right?
Because his feet were like all bloody and shit. He had blisters and all kinds of stuff. So he took him to the hospital, homeless man. Mm-hmm. And they, now is the shift that I'm there. We're running on the guy, and he is got bandages on his leg. He's at the bus stop. He's calling because his feet hurt. And Justin's just like, he goes crazy on the dude. He's like, man, and like he tells him basically go to like the homeless person shelter clinic. And then I look at the guy and I go, hey man, you want to go to the hospital? And the guy goes, yeah, I do. I'm like, get on the stretcher.
Oh yeah.
So I put him on the stretcher. I put him on the monitor. And I just like, you want something done, man? I go, nah, man, I don't need no burnt down motherfucker back in this ambulance. Go drive there's no steering wheel back here, is what I told him. Steering wheel's in the front. Get me there, Jeeps. You know what I mean? And I said, when I need you to move my luggage, you'll move it like a good sky cap. Because that's all you fucking are, man. So get in the front of this thing. And he goes, so by the time we get there, I got a epi drip going on the guy. I got all kinds of IVs going, all kinds of shit. It's like a 6-minute transport now. Where we're going. So I knocked out a bunch of shit in the back. I will tell you this. I will put my speed up against anybody. I'm good at this motherfucker. Because it's a game to me. It's a game.
Right.
It is an absolute game. I'm trying to get as many points as I can on this.
Because you guys are right around the corner from
I'm trying to get as many points as I can, on this patient. So I get my points. And he goes, man, how'd you know how to do that? I said, man, I wish I could waste my time on you, but I'm not going to, because you're too fucking burnt. You're too far gone. If you want to know how to do this, I got a class, and you can go to that class for free if you want. And that's how Justin came to be the guy he is today. He came to the class, and I never explained to him what I did, but during the class, it came to him what I did. And the reality is this, man. Like, if I would have failed at doing like being a flight nurse, I still would be seeking being a flight nurse. I would have never given the fuck up at doing it. People, you're going to go to interviews. You're going to want this really bad. and you're gonna like not get it the first time. It's all about testing how bad you really do want this. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, how bad do you really want to be here, and how bad do you want this job? And one of the greatest mentors I've ever had on the fire department was this guy that came on the fire department after I was already there. And it's a guy named Pat Kelly. It's one of the last things I'll say. This guy named Pat Kelly comes on the fire department. He was a firefighter at Brevard for 10 years. Probably like 12 years. He was a firefighter longer than I was at Orlando. And then Pat Kelly gets hired, and I got to precept this guy. He's been a medic longer than I've been alive, type shit. And that guy.
I'm running into that now.
Yeah.
People are precepting me, and I've been a nurse longer than they've been.
That guy, he went to fire school. He went to paramedic school. He did everything he did because he wanted to be an Orlando firefighter. And it took him 10 years to get on the job. Every time they did a test, he made the list, didn't make the cut. Every time he took it again, and he took it again, and he fucking made it, and right then and there, like that was like his fucking time, And I learned more from that guy, like just how to be a good paramedic, how to be a good guy around the station. And that guy, he's a funny dude to be around. He's somebody that everybody always wanted to like be around.
Right.
And the person I am today, my personality and all the things was shaped by that guy. Like that guy taught me how to like be a guy that people wanted to work with.
Yeah. But I have to give you credit for it, because a lot of people that are preceptors would look past the fact that he's got all this experience and want to bust his balls.
That's bullshit.
And
you're an idiot.
You're
That's
right.
Being ignorant.
Absolutely.
Being ignorant.
I
That's
completely
being an
agree
ignorant
with you.
human being, man.
Yes.
Being an ignorant human being.
Yep.
If you want to know like what classes to take and what things to do to be a flight nurse, well, there's probably like 10 other podcasts that are going to tell you that. You can look that shit up on YouTube. How to be a flight nurse. If you want to be good at the job and be the person that everybody wants to like be, then listen to this and like take these things to heart.
Yep.
The reality is this: like, have I helped people? I sure have. I think I have. Have I probably helped thousands of people? Well, I think I've taught enough people, and those people have passed that information around, that I would say my number's up in the millions.
Yeah.
Because you know what? We have people that come through here that teach the things and do the stuff, and I've never kept the information to myself. And that, I think, is what the legacy that we're going to leave behind. As a side note, I said I have kids. I have 2 that I inherited by marrying Trish, and then I have 1 that I've actually made. And my goal in life, it isn't for them to hear like, your dad was a great firefighter and a great paramedic. The goal in life, for me, is not for them to be told how great of a flight nurse and flight paramedic I was and I could intubate anybody. Is that, you know what, man, I always enjoyed your dad coming in here, and your dad was a good man.
Right.
That is the fucking goal in life. And that is my ultimate job. And like the whole thing is just be a good person. People will give you this job, and don't pretend to be somebody you're not.
Yep. Absolutely.
So
yep.
That's so fucking
Don't cry. Don't cry over there. Patricia's crying over there.
I put on my fucking contacts. I'm not crying.
It's like, it's so dry in here. This environment is not conducive for my eyes.
No, not to toot my own horn. I get a lot of questions from the podcast community.
Yeah.
In regards to, how I do what I do, how I get out there and, just brand the name, brand the podcast and everything. And it just, honest to God, just like you have to swallow that fear of, like you said, you're gonna fail.
Yeah.
And I've failed God knows how many times in the podcast community. But I'm at the point right now where even with my experience, even with the clients that I have, the podcasts that I produce, the podcasts that I produce, there are still failures here and there, but we learn from them and we evolve and we learn how not to do it again, to the point where, like, if you look at this show where we were, this is episode 41.
Oh yeah.
And mind you, I've only been here for a quarter of the time that you guys have been a podcast. And, not to talk bad about, my predecessor, not to talk bad of how it was done before, but like, I feel that as a team, we've seen what has to be done, how not to do it, to the point where, like, we have a well-oiled machine that's now going to grow, that's now going to get even better than what we have now. And in each and every episode, we're getting better and better, whether it's the flow of the content, whether it's the production of the show, whether it's the quality of the audio. We're growing because we've learned how not to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the title of the topic we were talking about is, things you think about and you don't say.
Mhm.
You know where that comes from, with that whole Jerry Maguire thing. So that was from Jerry Maguire in the
Okay.
movie, right?
Mhm.
Where does it come from? It's a gentleman wrote a memo, and he was a Walt Disney employee. He was like a manager of like Walt Disney, and he wrote a memo about things about how as the company was getting bigger, they were forgetting what was important, and it was the little
I see that at Disney.
yeah, it was the little kid that was coming in and watching this shit for the
It is
first time.
not as good as it used to be.
And that's the unfortunate part of getting bigger.
Yeah.
Is that sometimes you got to grow, you got to grow the business, you got to eat, you got to put food on the table. But like basically what he was saying is like, hey, don't forget how important the individual person is. And that's the key, right? Every time that tone goes off in that flight and you touch that person, regardless of whether that's going to be the sexy flight, that the one where you're doing all these procedures and all the
Right.
chest tubes and all the stuff and this and that, giving blood. And this could just be that like regular hold that person's hand and transport them to the hospital thing.
I kind of like those transports.
Yeah.
I mean, those
mean
are
a lot.
kind of the better ones because
Those mean a lot.
because all you got to do is talk to the person.
Yeah. I had a lady tell me she wanted her granddaughter named after me after I was done with the transport.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's probably not a good idea.
Those little things count.
Yeah.
Those are the things you had that I have memories of, and like that. Like, man, if I could tell you, there isn't like at least a couple times a week that somebody goes, "Hey, man, you remember this call we were on, and it was this, like that shit was all like," and I have no recollection of her being there.
Yeah,
Like
no
that
idea.
shit happens, man. Like,
I'm sure. I'm sure.
but I'll remember like eating a man's, me and this.
Wait, what?
Me and this guy. Yeah. Right? You like that?
I said
yeah.
the same thing. You ate a man's what?
Allegedly.
Mhm.
Dude, I had this guy, and he had a sack lunch, and I picked him up, and he goes,
oh my.
and
The
like,
stories just keep getting better and
I
better.
know.
He had a sack
So-
what?
He had a sack lunch.
Well, yeah. So this dude, we pick him up. He's got chest pains and shit, and we're taking him to the hospital. I was at Health Central ambulance, and we've been getting our asses kicked.
I think I worked at Health Central then.
So I was getting my asses kicked. I'm taking him over to Sand Lake Hospital. Which, by the way, millennials, that's Dr. Phillips.
That is Dr. Phillips now.
And I'm transporting him there, and he's like, "Man, you look hungry." And I said, "Yeah, man, it's been all day." And this dude goes, "You want half a sandwich?" And I'm supposed to tell the guy like, "Hey,
No.
man, you're not supposed to eat anything, but
Yeah,
you're gonna give me half of that if I let you eat the other half." And he goes, "Yeah." So me and this dude ate a fucking peanut butter and jelly sandwich the whole way to the
Really?
hospital.
And I bet it tastes so good.
It was delicious.
Oh,
It was delicious.
yes.
And you know
Was
what?
it closed like wrapped commercially
a-
before you opened it?
No, it was in a sandwich bag and shit, but the guy looked cool,
Yeah.
And so it was delicious.
Hey, he's still alive.
Crunchy
He is
peanut
still
butter.
alive.
Crunchy peanut butter. man.
Ooh, I like crunchy.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah,
You fucking monster.
yeah.
I
don't like
also
crunchy
love
peanut butter?
I hate crunchy peanut butter.
Oh,
I
I
know
love it.
there's something.
You know
wrong
what
with
it is?
Yeah.
You
No,
got-
you want to know? You want to know what crunchy peanut butter is? Lazy peanut butter.
No.
Peanut
No,
butter is supposed to
it's
be nice and
delicious.
creamy. That's what
Yep.
George Washington Carver
need-
wanted to do.
You know
No, you
something,
need
sir?
Peter
Lumpy
Pan.
Mash
Honey. Wait, what?
What? Well, I got
Peter Pan. Honey,
I said
honey
large
crunchy
fries,
peanut
I
Amanda.
butter.
love that. Yes.
I said it's lumpy mashed potatoes.
No.
Yeah.
See, lumpy mashed potatoes are good.
Those
Yeah,
are good.
Those are
No.
good.
Hey,
I
crunchy
like-
peanut
Let me
good
ask
too.
you something, man. Like the reality is, see, when you grow up on government peanut butter, it's not crunchy.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so I would get, we get government peanut
Yeah,
butter at the house,
right.
which is that oily shit. It's got like the oil layer on the motherfucker.
Yeah, that's
You
the
gotta
healthy
mix it.
stuff.
You gotta mix it.
Yeah, you got to mix
That's
it
the
up good.
healthy one.
Yeah, fuck that
That's
shit.
the one that's good for you.
And then they changed the shit. Remember, they started giving you that goober peanut butter. Like I had
Oh, it
the
was
Oh,
mixed
the
already.
jelly.
Yeah.
jelly and the peanut
Yeah.
butter
That's
in there.
gross.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
disgusting.
something that is what I call quick, fast, and delicious.
No,
and
delicious. Be part of that.
So
I wish to exercise my Fifth Amendment right.
So as I love crunchy peanut butter.
Yes.
That's the thing, that we could have like the most serious subject on this podcast, and then again, I will say that we go into a tangent of nothingness.
Yes.
Yeah, we go into a tangent of nutty peanut
Do you
butter.
want me
Yeah.
to tell you about what the CDC says about maternal deaths?
Yeah, go ahead, baby.
Let's get it.
So from 87 to 17, the maternal deaths raised 10%. So it was at like 7 point something, and it raised 10% in that 10 years. And they don't have a, it is unclear as to why it is going up so far. It does say something about Pitocin has been used, not necessarily in the like dosed right or whatever. And whenever that does happen, it has a chance to cause more hemorrhages and cardiac issues, etc.
Being used to induce labor
It doesn't specify.
or prevent labor. I'm sorry, prevent labor, or what are they using it for?
They use it.
Inducing labor.
They usually use it to induce labor.
Correct.
So, but it doesn't specify as far as like how Pitocin increases your maternal mortality or anything like that.
Mm.
But the biggest cause of death is cardiac, and then infection, and then cardiac myopathy, and then hemorrhage.
We were
You know
talking
what,
about talking about numbers earlier.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in knowing because we were talking about age.
Yeah.
You were talking about age.
So
I'd be
that is
inter-
also a big.
Yeah,
that is
I would be
also a big
interested
factor.
to know what
It
the
is.
age difference is.
You know
from-
what? You know
So
what?
it's like when people are increased maternal age or
Geriatric.
elderly.
Geriatric
So I was
pregnancies. They
talking-
call them
I was-
geriatric
They
pregnancies.
do.
Yeah, that's
I
what
was
it's called.
talking to a
Oh,
friend
what
of mine
age?
who
What
had
age do you think?
like 32.
Oh,
What age do you think?
I would say 45.
It depends.
33.
It depends on what you read, but you're
Okay.
looking at somewhere between like 32 and a half to 35 years of age.
Like I was
Well,
in-
I'm 35
I was-
years of age. Goddamn.
You're
I
geriatric.
I was a geriatric when
So-
I had Zoe.
Yeah. So
That is so crazy.
I know. So a few things that are interesting, while we're honest, is we are educational podcast. You start thinking about.
Well, listen, you wanted
Yeah.
Yeah.
wanted me to.
You start looking at things.
I'm pretty sure Pitocin has something to do with.
Well, like
Maybe missed doses.
this is not
or-
the opinion.
Well, what's
of-
the actual research behind that? And
It doesn't say. It
So-
says it's unclear.
it's
But-
unclear.
Killed my
you know-
kid.
It does say that like
But independent.
Pitocin mistakes
Yeah.
are one of the
It
causes.
says mistakes.
But those
It doesn't say
but
mistakes.
those are, that's more of like an
I'm
independent
sorry,
study.
let me find the right.
Yeah.
But Trish,
No, I
I'm
just-
sorry. I kind of want to dive into this. That's more of an independent study, correct? Like not of a like backed up by like
CDC?
CDC.
Yeah.
No,
so
it's
like
from the
how
CDC.
many
It's from the CDC.
how many maternal deaths are caused by like magnesium or
It
anything
doesn't.
else?
It doesn't
So
talk
like the
about that.
reality is that let's just be clear on some of the things. Is like the
Amniotic fluid embolism is one, anesthesia complications, but that's only 0.4%. Like cardiac conditions is 15.5%, sepsis is 12.7, cardiac myopathy is 11.5, hemorrhage is 10.7, thrombotic, pulmonary or other embolism is 9.6, CVA is 8.2, hypertension is 6.6. Like I said, amniotic fluid is 5.5. And then other non-cardiovascular medical conditions is 12.5.
And I'm sure once you break that down, you'll find out what the other ones are. But they've still made an effect.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wouldn't just say like again throw the Pitocin shit out there because there is some important questions on Pitocin on your like flight exams and stuff like that, which we use Pitocin for
It also says, like-
postpartum hemorrhage.
Non-Hispanic Black women have
White.
41 point. Non-Hispanic Black women are 41.7 deaths per 100,000, and then
Yeah.
non-Hispanic American Indian or Native Americans are 28.3. Non-Hispanic Asians are 13.8, and then non-Hispanic white women are 13.4, and 11.6 are Hispanic.
Cool.
Have you ever been a Hispanic Asian? I haven't.
Yes.
Have you?
Did I
Oh,
say
yeah.
Hispanic Asian?
You did?
Non-Hispanic.
Yeah.
I was just kidding.
Not a Hispanic Asian.
Yeah, you
I
may well.
thought I
Go
said
ahead.
that.
Patricia's got his hand raised. That's
when I-
proper way to ask a question.
When
I
I
apologize.
worked in Colorado,
Yes.
my girlfriend, my stripper girlfriend, was Puerto Rican. Was Puerto Rican Japanese.
How was
What's
that?
interesting
Wow.
is
Was
that
that
the other Puerto Rican Asian that I know was a
I
stripper.
saw
Yeah.
what you looked at
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I saw
The
what
other
Yes,
you
Puerto
looked
Rican
yeah.
Asian that you know was a
Yes,
stripper.
yes.
Who's that?
I'll edit that out. Don't worry.
I can't even think of a real name
Why?
right now.
It's all right.
Because they don't reflect the views and opinions of the rescue
Right,
company.
yeah,
would.
yeah.
So you know,
Equal
a few
opportunity
things to
trader.
remember, like postpartum hemorrhage. Like there's a couple good questions on that, like on the FPC exam, and it talks about, well, as you're giving the pitocin, you're taking those 40 units and you're putting them in a 1,000 bag,
Okay.
right? And and then you're dripping that in, and how fast do you drip it? Well, you're dripping it at whatever it takes to actually feel the contractions. So
Okay.
you're trying to feel the belly for contractions post birth, right? Because you're trying to stop the hemorrhage.
Right.
So you know what's interesting about it is pitocin is when you give it, it's going to cause the release of oxytocin from the posterior pituitary gland, which is always released with what?
ADH.
Well, that question was for Jason, so that's pointing at Jason. And there we go. So you can go ahead and take 2 minutes.
Trisha with the assist.
Yeah,
Trisha with the assist.
So
You're welcome, Jason.
Thank you.
yeah. And the antidiuretic hormone and oxytocin working together is going to cause the pitocin causes the constriction, right? The antidiuretic hormone is going to cause the body stop thinking that it's losing volume, so it's going to
Epileptic shock.
hold on to the volume, right? So,
Right. Yep.
so it's pretty
I'm
cool
just
the
throwing
way
words
that
out
kind
there
of
'cause I
thing
don't know
works.
shit.
Yeah, he's just saying random thing. Nebraska. I can also screen random
Loud
confused
noises.
Yeah.
Stapler.
Stapler, not the
We're
answer.
gonna need you to move to the basement
Yes.
with your
So-
stapler.
So you know,
I'll burn
OB
this place down.
questions
I'll burn
are
it all down.
OB questions are shit that people fear on the exam.
Oh, I'm
Like
sure.
people hear
Embrace
baby
it.
Yeah,
questions,
OB
embrace
and
them.
pediatric probably because
Embrace them, man.
Embrace it.
you never do it.
You
Yeah.
don't.
All right, is there fiberglass on this table? Because I've been itchy the whole time.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I'm
yeah,
pretty
it
sure
could
it's-
be
I think so.
It
We put
could
it on
be
there just for you.
either
Appreciate it.
that or
How did you know?
is that blood or semen? I don't know. So I've been watching a lot of
They look-
Dateline, and
They look so similar.
I learned some interesting facts on Dateline the other
Okay.
day. Number one, I didn't know how many Native American Indian women, like feather, not dot. And I say that with all due respect. And I say with all due respect, which is the Geneva Convention.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how many of those women get abused and killed.
Oh, tons.
Yeah.
It
Is
is
Phil?
fucking
Yes.
an epidemic, man.
What?
That
Yeah.
fucking shit is ridiculous, bro. These women are basically like Native American women. They live in like reservations and stuff like that, are basically just unprotected. They go missing.
Totally. Yep.
They go missing. They get beat up, and like
And the
shit
law
doesn't
enforcement
get.
can't get on the reservation unless
It
it's
is.
an
But
FBI.
isn't there a
Fucking crazy.
law enforcement reservation?
Yeah,
Like,
but they
Yes.
don't care. It's a man.
I am telling you
The
about
rule, the
Okay.
laws and rules of the tribe are not
Women
impacted.
friendly.
Well, are not impacted by rules and laws of the surrounding.
right. I
Yeah,
understand
they
that.
have
I
their own
understand that part,
stuff.
but I thought they were still
I am
governed
so.
by the-
I was like, something.
No.
It is.
crazy.
I am.
Like their own special little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am so fucking amazed that these I'm like and these women are fed up. Like
Oh, yeah.
the thing they're
I
fed
would
up.
be too.
They're fucking investigating their own shit. There's a woman out there that's like she finds her own people.
Ooh,
You know,
damn. I'm gonna have to
uh,
research that.
Yeah. So I was it's interesting because in our current project that we're working on, the a group of people that take part in the search and rescue environment and arena is the Native American different tribes and stuff like that. They do a lot of stuff that are they have their own shit.
Right.
They do their own searching and
Yeah.
stuff. And it's amazing to me, man, that these women are like it is fucking crazy and nuts. And like
I
as
just don't.
I will say that as
Why?
the opinion of me, Carlos,
Mhm.
in the opinion of my company that I started, I will say this: like, we're for helping any type. What the hell is that?
I don't know. Hello.
Hello, hello there. Anybody?
That's birthday buddy.
Hey, birthday buddy.
Get rid of birthday buddy.
So
Is it her?
I don't think so.
Oh.
So like, we're for like helping those situations out. We're for making that better. So whatever we can do to make that better, we're gonna start researching that shit.
Absolutely.
You know,
That's
that's
great.
like- that's insane
I
to me.
I
Insane
really
to
didn't
me.
know that was like that.
The other thing I wanted to point out was like Trish was reading like Hispanics and black.
Oh, birthday buddy got a hand up.
Oh, go ahead, buddy.
I just watched a Netflix movie the other day from 2017 called Wind River, and it's about exactly what you're talking about. It's about this teenage girl who went missing on a reservation, and she was brutally raped and murdered and found like 10 miles out in like this crazy snow blizzard area. And like the reservation police, like they didn't care, and they brought the FBI in, and they were really restricting on like what they could investigate and what they would do. They wouldn't even declare her cause of death from the rape or call it a murder. They just said that it was she died from being in the cold.
That's fucked up. Let me tell you something. We're marching for all kinds of different things. We're like, like against all this shit. We're rioting. We're doing things. You know what I'm saying?
Vaccines.
Stupid
And there's
shit.
a whole group of people that like that
Need
are
help.
just fucking unprotected. Like you know what I mean? Like, let's focus our attention on things that probably problems we should fucking fix.
What about the
Yeah.
kids that don't eat on the weekends if they don't get school lunches?
Yeah, absolutely. What you
Those
got?
are the kids that I allegedly, where I work, have to send food home with them every Friday so that they can eat for the weekend.
Yeah, so that's part of
But
her
it's
job.
everywhere.
That's part of her job.
Yeah.
It
And
is.
she tells me this stuff, and
We're worried about people in Africa that can't eat, and
Right.
there are
Yeah,
kids
there's
right here in
that
the
are
U.S.
hungry.
that
They're hungry.
go hungry.
You know,
every
birthday
weekend.
buddy is interesting because the kids were asking me that the other day. Like, remember we were having this conversation with the kids. Like, there's people like, she was like, man, like some of the kids don't get school lunches and stuff like that. And like, I'm like, shit, yeah, I remember that. Like, I remember like, being that kid.
Right.
Like if they're not at school, they don't get to eat. And it's like, yeah, I remember that shit.
but okay, so
Josh's wife says like one of the schools that she used to work at, that was a huge problem.
Yeah,
that's so crazy. So like the transition is at this particular school, because it's identified that they need help. That's all they get to eat is when
What?
they're at school.
They don't get to take home stuff.
No, that's like when they go to school, they get breakfast, they get lunch, and that's it. And then
Yeah.
on the weekends, they get sent home to them
Yeah.
breakfast and lunch. But that's it.
No dinner.
yeah.
No.
You don't need dinner.
Man, like
That's extra.
I mean, if you're chunky, maybe. Like I don't need dinner. I never
I
get
don't
dinner.
need dinner either.
Horrible.
Hey.
Like, some kids that come to school and they don't even, I've had kids come to school that don't even have shoes on.
Yeah.
Or I had one kid that came to school and his shoes were literally, no lie, 4 sizes too small.
It's amazing. It's amazing, man. Like, we tell our kids too, man, like, you don't know what it is to have.
No.
Like it, and
I don't know. This generation doesn't know what it is to
not have.
to not have, and to struggle because. I'm sorry. Let me stop. I'm going to stop.
No, go ahead, express your
why?
opinion.
The other
Why would
crazy
you
part of
stop?
it is like I've looked into different volunteer opportunities
hmm
that like I remember doing when I was a kid, and they don't let kids volunteer.
They don't.
anymore.
They don't.
Like they're like, you have to be 18 to volunteer. And I'm like, well, what if I'm right there with them? No, they have to be 18.
Yeah.
There's people that like call like we had a person call like for class one time and like Trish hates when I do this, but a lot of times I like somebody will call me and they'll give me a sob story, man, and they'll go like, hey man, I would love to come to your class but I can't pay. And I'm like,
I don't hate when you do that.
so I'm like, man, just come to class, just come
I
to
tell
class.
people to do the same thing.
We'll talk about paying at another time. You know what I'm saying? And it's quite crazy is that they end up being the people that actually do pay you for every cent. Like they'll pay you every cent eventually. And I don't mind waiting for those. Like
I've never been upset about
I'm
that.
just kidding, babe. When I
Okay.
said that.
He texted me the other night. He's like, man, I wish Trish would just not get upset at me about this.
Yeah.
You know what, though, that sets you aside from a lot of people because one, I call it an advantage at this point in your life is you know how it is to go both ways. You've had nothing.
Well, addressing
Certain
that,
bus
Sorry about
stops
that.
in certain areas.
addressing that hashtag allegedly, I have
You've gone both ways.
I've held a lot of penises. I am a male nurse.
Well, yeah. But
Well, I've held up a lot of male penises, and I'm not a male nurse.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
what I mean is you don't forget where you came from.
Nah.
And
No.
that is what will always hold you a little bit higher and set you aside from other companies and other agencies and other people. Like that just makes you a
man.
better person, is not forgetting where you came from.
And you can't, man. I can't let go of it.
I mean, I came from white privilege.
Yeah, I don't know about that shit. You know, something, man.
Or not.
It's amazing. Like Trish's parents are people that like give all their
Everything.
shit to people. Like they will have nothing, and they'll just give away. You know,
Everything.
It's crazy to me. I'm like, her dad is the funniest dude in the world. Like her dad just wants to he wants to give you something
That he doesn't even have.
that he doesn't have, just to tell you a story
Yeah.
about how
He'll
he
go
got.
buy it just so he can give it to you.
About
We
how
need
he
to
got
do a
there.
barbecue with them.
Yes,
Because I met him the other day
Uh-huh.
when I was picking up my trailer, and he was saying, "Oh yeah, look at that thing." We were talking about the
Yes.
trailer. We were talking back and forth a little bit.
Did he figure out you were a firefighter?
I don't
Once he
think
does
so.
that, so Trish's dad is an old school Jake fireman.
Oh
you know?
yeah?
yeah.
Okay.
So
All
like
right.
He was a
when
fire chief when
Yeah.
I was a baby.
so he's
Oh no shit! I didn't know that.
My
when
mom was an assistant.
when they moved here, Trish's dad's an Ocoee fireman.
I-
back in the day.
I
Yeah,
went to EMT school when I was like 3.
Hey,
I'm not kidding.
She got
that's
to sit in-
great.
yeah, she had to sit
I
in
did
there.
not.
So
I do not have a certificate. I'm very upset about that.
Yeah, you should.
I attended every single
Yeah.
class. I watched every single video. I'm sorry, film,
Yeah.
because they were not videos back then.
yeah, so Trish's dad will tell you some stories, boy. Like it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then
I don't think your camera's on.
Oh,
There you
sorry.
go.
So,
Way. There he is.
so one of the things I do want, so we can close this up because I'm getting hungry now. Listen, man.
I could really go for a Wingstop.
Huh?
Yeah.
Nah, that's not what I was thinking about. You can go there if you like. Let
I
me
mean,
ask you
it's
something.
not going to be as amusing as the last time we went.
Yeah, I don't want to go if
But-
that's not gonna happen. So,
I'm not even sure either one of you are.
Patricia,
know what happened.
have you ever had like McDonald's barbecue sauce?
Yes.
Now you tell me that's not the most delicious barbecue sauce you've ever put on a chicken nugget in your whole entire life.
Well, I mean, the sauces themselves at McDonald's are made for the nuggets at McDonald's.
Yes.
If you were to take that same sauce or any other sauces from McDonald's and apply it to any other product, it would not be the same. Unless
so you're telling me that sauce is not on the barbecue sandwich.
I do
Yes,
like
that's
the
not-
hot
that- no, that
mustard
sauce is on the
sauce.
barbecue
Right.
sandwich.
Well, you
That's
just said that any other
'Cause
product.
McDonald's product.
I like. Oh, see, he's
Oh.
I like-
because I'll dip the fuck out of a French fry in that.
I like
You know-
French
Yeah, no,
fries
no,
with
no.
the hot mustard sauce.
So
Yeah.
I've
Which one,
worked at
baby?
McDonald's,
Hot
but the
mustard?
sauces that you
Oh, I
have
love hot
at
mustard.
McDonald's have been tested to be put with every other product on the McDonald's menu. Whether it's the fish fillet, whether it's the Big Mac, like those sauces are meant.
I feel like you're throwing some
Big
like
Mac,
I think like you're like Trish was
BLT.
blaming shit on Pitocin a little bit ago. You're throwing some shit
I'm,
out there.
I'm convinced that
know.
Something with
McDonald's
some
puts
cheese.
cocaine in all of it.
Oh, totally does.
Yeah,
Totally
totally.
does.
Yes.
Have you ever seen
There
that?
is
Have you ever?
cocaine in it.
You know what you need to do?
it's so
You need to
good.
dip a McDonald's French fry in the gravy
In an
from
ice cream
KFC.
sundae.
But so hold on a
What?
second. So hold on a second. Somebody just said some shit that I need
A
to talk
hot
about.
fudge sundae.
I hate that Colonel as beady eyes.
I don't know
Put
the
it,
last time I went to
addictive-
the Colonel.
Addictive chemicals in his chicken. Eat my chicken. So, like, when have you done? So you've made 2 fast food stops.
Don't judge me,
I
You got
do
French
love their
fries?
coleslaw.
dude. I was allegedly going out with this one girl
Yes.
that her period was so bad
I'm
that
Oh.
she wanted a Big Mac from McDonald's, a lemonade from Chick-fil-A, and the wedges from KFC.
What the fuck?
No.
No.
So let me ask you something, because I used to call,
I'm a woman and I'm like, fuck no.
you know,
Right?
periods.
Fuck that. No.
Allegedly,
But,
back when I was
let
married.
me know when it's over. No.
Allegedly, back in the
Jason-
day.
Well, this was like
Like,
early relationship status.
whatever.
And it was
No,
totally worth it.
mm-mm.
It was totally worth it.
Was it asshole and blowjob weeks? Like when you were.
Well, I'm not a
blowjob.
blowjob kind of guy.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I do like them though.
I mean,
I do enjoy them.
if they're there, like I'm not going to be rude, but no, and here's the thing, and
I
I've
don't
said,
turn them away.
I
so,
have said
you know
this.
what I mean?
This
It's like,
this comment has spread from podcast to podcast to podcast, and I
Yes.
get negative comments all the time
It's like
on
an
it.
STD.
If no, I have my card. I am clean. I get tested every 3 months, regardless of
Good for
changing
you.
partners.
Yeah.
But
Good for you.
the one thing is that I don't like blowjobs because I feel like I want to do something. I feel like if I'm getting a blowjob, it's me being lazy. I think about the hockey scores. I think about that I leave the kitchen light on, things like that. If I'm getting a
There's
blowjob,
no absolute thing that crosses through my mind other than there's a mouth on my dick right now. and you know, that's me. I'm not judging. I'm not pointing any fingers. I'm just saying that's like what I think about.
yeah.
And
No,
you know-
I because like my mind it runs chaos. Like I'm constantly thinking about other things. So like
not a fucking thing.
But the only time like I stop is yes during sex. But for me, the line is oral. I'll go down, no problem, 100%.
Oh yeah,
But
that's
amen,
my shit.
exactly.
Yeah, I'm what you would call a certified deep sea diver.
Hey, squirt is not pee.
Yeah, well, we can argue about that, but that's for another podcast.
I'm a tongue karate master.
Yeah,
There's a very particular set of skills his mustache does.
yeah.
But no, I'd rather do more with that mouth than have it on my dick.
Hey man,
All right.
and you know I agree. I see where you're coming
Carlos
from.
agrees with you.
I see where you're coming from on that, but the reality is this: like, I do like a blowjob. Hey,
I just loved how you looked at it.
I may not come from it, allegedly, you know, but it happens, and I do enjoy
I love these
it.
chairs.
I do enjoy it. Yes.
I enjoy these chairs more than a blowjob.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What?
No, I don't. No, you know, like it feels like you're in America when you get one of those. You know what I mean? Like things are right. Hulk Hogan's ripping his shirt off. The Iron Sheik ain't the fucking heavyweight champion, and things are just fucking right when that shit happens. We beat the Russians in hockey. Yes, that's happened. That's why I'm getting this blowjob right now, and that is fucking exactly what
We landed a man on the moon, and she's sucking my dick.
America. By the way, fucking speaking about that,
What, sucking dick or landing on America?
There's a blowjob story about the moon landing. Did you ever hear this shit?
No, but I heard
thought
about
we were gonna talk
how
about
Buzz Aldrin peed his pants when he landed on the moon.
So Mr. Buzz, was it
Lightyear.
John Glenn or Buzz is in one of them, as they walk on the moon, they
Because
said
John Glenn never walked on the moon. It had to have been Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz Aldrin. Yep. And Buzz Aldrin goes,
Balls Aldrin?
Balls.
we'll look this up, and he goes,
Balls Aldrin.
way to go, Mr. Carlson. And he says that, right? And years later, the motherfucker writes a book. You know, he waits till the dude dies. He writes a book and he tells him like what, because everybody's always like, what does that mean? So when he's a kid, it's a fucking great story. When he's a kid, Mr. Carlson is his next door neighbor. And like he's like a ball falls into their backyard, so he's back there and like he's peeking in their window and shit. And the old lady's like, "I will suck your dick when the kid next door walks on the moon." And that's what he says on there. He goes, "Way to go, Mr. Carlson! Look that shit up. It's a true story."
Well, did you know that Buzz Aldrin was actually the first person to take a piss on the moon?
No shit, huh?
Yeah. So it was originally in the original itinerary for the moon landing. Buzz Aldrin was supposed to be the first one to come off the lunar module.
Yeah.
But of course, you know, the change of plans, blah blah blah. Neil Armstrong's the first one to come out.
Oh, look at that puppy.
It was Neil Armstrong.
It was Neil Armstrong.
Hey, Neil Armstrong that says that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So on top of that, he beforehand, Buzz took the Eucharist to the moon, and before the lunar module had been open, he took the Eucharist, he took the sacrament wine, and with all the tang that he had drank, he like, yo, I really gotta go.
Dang, man.
So as he's coming off the lunar module after Buzz, after Neil Armstrong, Buzz pees into his God, what is it called? The urinary
Catheter.
Yeah, the catheter.
Yeah.
So he was the first man to piss on the moon.
No shit. Huh?
Yeah.
One of the tattoo artists I've had was obsessed with urinary catheters.
Yes, yeah, we've talked about
weird.
that on the podcast
Have we?
before.
I don't
Yes.
remember.
Well-
We'll go ahead and take a minute and think about it. And then we're going to go ahead and close this one up. Hey, you know, I love doing this shit.
I love it
I
too.
love this podcast. It's funny, man. Like, and I can't believe people actually download and listen to this.
You guys have a lot of downloads.
Yeah, please keep doing it. Like, we are
Hey, I
like,
just want to say hi to Serena because I love her.
hey,
Hi,
Miss
Serena.
And I love that I got to see her yesterday.
Oh, well, I'm very happy you did.
Me too.
Yeah.
I love you, Serena.
Well, there's a
That was an echo.
there's an echo there.
Okay.
I'm trying to do it like an outro.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for but
What's that?
I'm fucking it up. Fucking it up.
You can't mute me.
Oh,
I
sorry.
have the whole show.
Jesus, what are you doing?
You know what? I didn't know until tonight that whatever I did was like affecting everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I'll click it through the different views.
Oh, I found that.
Oh, so you're the one who's been doing it this whole time?
I am. I didn't know.
Yeah, because I was fucking muted and all that shit earlier.
Whoa, no. Well, here's the thing. Like, so
No.
because let me show you everybody this real quick, so everyone's on the same page.
We're all learning.
Because I am the one who's plugged into the board, the sound everything that you guys are saying runs through the board, runs through mine, that goes through Spreaker. So if I were to unmute Jason, here's what happens. Hold on, no, hold on. Let's. Oh yeah, because you guys muted
Hungry hippo.
all you guys muted yourselves. Good
I
job.
did not. Oh yes, I did.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So because you guys are here, if you guys were to unmute yours, your speaker, I mean your microphone is your computer.
Yeah.
So you would have feedback and you would have double voices coming through. So you would have that echo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I ask you guys to mute your speakers and to mute your microphones before the start of each show. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
So if I'm not quote, I have a quote for final thought, but here, what you got, Jason?
Oh, we're doing final thoughts.
Yeah.
Oh, final thoughts. Everybody pull your head out of your ass, and you really should consider the way that
Your mustache looks.
yes.
We are selling BOGO rides on that mustache.
No, we're not.
On the rest.
You gotta pay extra for the karate.
Next week.
The karate
Next week.
tongue.
Amanda, you're up. Final thought.
We're not selling rides.
I'm an only child and I don't share well.
That's so funny. Me too.
Yeah, that's true. Allegedly.
Final thoughts for me. I don't know. Have a wonderful week. Stay positive.
Oh man.
If you're not hitching something, pull your fucking hitch off.
Oh, listen.
No.
That's it. God bless America. You are.
Oh,
This
hey,
is
you
coming from
know
a guy
how
who drives a car.
Do you know how many
Little
shins
car.
are affected
birthday
by
buddy.
unused hitches in the United States
many
each and
eyes-
every
How
year?
many eyes do
Alone?
you have?
I have two,
Yes,
but it's
that's
dark in the
called
Walmart
depth
parking lot.
perception.
It is dark in the Walmart parking
Don't
lot,
walk
and there
behind
is
it.
no need to drive around with a hitch. If you're not hitching
You know-
something, we get it. You have a truck, you have a hitch, you hitch something every
Hey,
now and then.
maybe
But you're
he
not
had-
hitching anything right
maybe
now.
he had to
You're
run
not
over-
hitching anything right now.
Maybe you had to
Are you
run
on your way to pick something to hitch up?
Walmart.
Why are you hitching around?
Maybe you had to run Walmart. It's
Hey.
beers. And then
Hey,
go
birthday
hitch.
buddy.
You can tell that
Jason
he
has
drives
your
the car
calendar.
because he's calling it hitching.
Yeah, and you know something.
You
If we were all Spartans right now, and your tins got injured by a hitch, you'd be fucking thrown off a cliff. Just remember that.
Well, if you've been injured by if you've been injured by a hitch, you may be
Yeah.
entitled to compensation. Call the law office of Aaron Morse.
So check this out. This is my final thought. So I've missed 9,000 shots. I've lost in my career. I've lost over 300 games. 26 times I was trusted to take the winning shot, and I missed, failed over and over and over again. And I did all that so I could succeed. You know who that
Yeah.
was?
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan, baby.
Which is crazy.
So hey,
Which is crazy. Greatest basketball player
basketball
of all.
player
Yeah.
every game. I'm a Knicks fan, so but I'm a Michael Jordan fan because I'm a fucking American. And if I
I
said
loved
anything,
it. It was the Netflix
today-
special, right? For
Yeah.
Michael Jordan.
yeah,
That was
the Last
phenomenal.
Dance.
Yeah.
If I said anything today that offends you, well, you should have turned it off a long time ago.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
fuck yourself.
Bye.